Hey guys, the Explorer 4 here, the Horror Boy. Welcome back to some more reviews, and today's review is another requested review, and tonight's request is Brain Damage. This is a 1988 film that's a 6.6 on IMDb, and it was written by Frank Henenlotter. Now, this is requested by my good friend Trenchy, aka the Soloist Trenchcoat. Great guy. I'll be leaving a link to the channel and description below. Thank you once again to him for this request, and man, this movie was a lot of fun to watch. Mainly because I didn't realize this, but mainly because I've seen another movie by this filmmaker before, this director, and I was a big fan of that one. I'm a big fan of this one, and the same guy that directed Basket Case directed this movie. Now, he also made Frankenhooker, which is another one that I've heard about a lot from a lot of people. He's also made Basket Case 2 and 3, which is a little weird. That's a 2 and 3 to this, because the way this ends, if anybody's seen this, the way this ends, kind of like there's a 2 and 3 to this. But I'm a huge fan of Basket Case. I watched it a long time ago, and I never got around to reviewing it. I don't know why. I just didn't review it. I think maybe I was busy at the time, but I never got around to talking about Basket Case. So hopefully one day I can talk about Basket Case. But Brain Damage, I was really impressed with, because when it started out, I honestly didn't think it was going to be much of a film, because the acting was a little dodgy, the music was a little off, the design of the creature, and we'll get into all that stuff in a second, but the way it starts out, I didn't think I was going to be a really big fan of it. But as the movie played along, I ended up, it's kind of like Basket Case. Basket Case the same way. I'm like, what is this movie? Like, it's really goofy, over the top, the effects are kind of bad, but just the more you watch it, the more you get into these movies, you just end up loving these movies. And that's how Brain Damage was for me, man. I mean, just got the movie, just fell in love with the movie, and really got behind it. And this is a really low budget movie, and the fact they were able to do certain things in this movie with the budget they had was tremendously impressive. I must say that. But the story, you have a character, I believe his name is Brian, and he wakes up one day with blood on his bed. And Brian is our lead, played by Rick Hurst, who I thought did a pretty good job for the most part. I thought he conveyed a lot of great emotions in this movie, and for the most part, he played a really, good character and did a great job acting-wise. But he finds blood in his bed and realizes there's this creature that has attached itself to his body. And this creature has this liquid that injects it into the brain, and he's high. He's on LSD. So it's about this alien monster creature, this ancient creature that's been on the planet for thousands upon thousands of years. And it controls people and makes them kind of their slave. Basically, it uses the liquid that it has for the put in the brain, make people high. Says pretty much, hey, you know what? You take me out, I get to eat and feed, and you get to get high. And it's like kind of one of those things. And this creature is very comedic. When you first see it, man, that scene alone is so legendary. Hello, it just kind of pops up. That's the thing, man. Like this in Basket Case. This director knows how to give these creatures unique looks and also unique personalities, because most creatures are voiceless and don't really say much and don't really have, like Leprechaun Origins, that creature is nothing. There's nothing to the look, nothing to the way that it is. It's just a generic creature. Here, I don't like the design as much as Basket Case, which I know is kind of a spoiler showing that, because you're not supposed to know what that looks like, but basically, any poster you see for that movie is that cover. But I like that design better than this one. This creature's design, just like, it basically like a turd, a slimy turd if it had eyes and a mouth. It just basically looked like. So I wasn't really a big fan of design, but I was a big fan of how they put up the special effects in this movie, and how they could do certain things with a low budget. And also, the voice acting. I thought they'd given this thing a voice and making it hilarious. I thought it brought a lot of fun to the movie. This movie is definitely not scary. However, there are some real real down to earth moments in this movie. Like, this movie's undertone message is about drugs, and is about this person who is addicted to this, and he tries to go through withdrawals, but he just can't. He's gonna die if he doesn't get his fix of that alien juice. But it was a good moment where you realize there's no hope for this character. He's got to do this till he dies, and you really felt bad for this character when that happens. And he just changes. He gets more crazy. He gets more out of control. He gets like super pale. And he starts spiraling down this dark path. And this creature is there with him. And there's some side stuff, like there's this old couple who used to have this thing, but they're looking for it. His brother is cheating with his girlfriend. There's side stuff like that, but the main gist of the story is that this dude is experiencing basically alien LSD, and this creature is going around killing people. And man, this movie was such a blast to watch. It was so fun watching this movie. And like I said, it starts out like the music at the beginning of the movie doesn't really sound that good. It sounds like those like low budget 80s direct to video type soundtracks. They all pretty much sound the same. It starts out with that kind of music. But then as the movie goes along, the music gets better and it improves, and it gets to a point to where I love the soundtrack in this movie. That's a very interesting thing, because it doesn't really happen a lot with films. Most time it's, oh, this score is terrible, I don't like it, or oh, this choice of lighting is terrible, I don't like it. But these little things, they get better and better as the movie goes along. Another point in case, the acting at the beginning of the movie was real shoddy. And I was thinking like, oh man, the acting's going to be pretty bad. But as the movie goes along, the acting gets more and more better. And these characters learn more and more. And they go through more and more. It's just a very unique thing. I've never seen that happen, where it starts out at one place and it builds throughout the entire movie to get to a completely different level. And I like that. So overall, the acting ended up being pretty good. The performances and just how outrageously crazy and original this movie is. And that's what it is too, is this in Basket Case, this director really knows how to make original content and knows how to make ideas that haven't been done before. Like, even this and Basket Case are different. They're not really the same. And speaking of Basket Case, there's a really awesome jaw-dropping moment in this movie that when I seen this, it made me go, okay, I love this movie now. I love it to death. This is the cherry on top of the ice cream, man. Like, this is what made me love this movie. The guy from Basket Case walks in and sits down right next to our lead character. And there's the basket there. He looks at the character looks back to him. They kind of realize there's something odd about each other. And the guy at the basket gets up and leaves. That made me love that. I so wish more horror films would do that. Like, very few horror films will actually do stuff like that. Like, I love that, because the director knows horror fans, he knows the genre, and he knows if you've seen his other movies or not, and I just, that's so cool. That was so awesome. I so wish more horror films would do that, but that was awesome. You have a lot of familiar faces in this movie, a couple cameos here and there. There are just certain scenes that stick out in my mind, like, he goes into the shower, and there's a dude in the shower with him, and the dude's like, what the hell are you looking at, man? And he looks like the adult version of the kid from The Grudge, our lead character. He's just pale, dead pale. And this guy's in the shower, he's like, what are you looking at, man? And then, like, you think the creature's going to kill this guy, but ends up not killing him, he kills somebody else. Or this girl's going to give our lead character a BJ, and the monster just shoots out, and it just the way that scene is done, man, it's just hilarious. The monster ends up killing her. A lot of just outrageous stuff and hilarious stuff. This movie is so entertaining, so crazy, so off the wall. I wouldn't really say it's scary, but it doesn't really need to be in this instance. And it just was, it was real and serious when it got down to it. It's a lot like Basket Case. I mean, Basket Case, you look at it, very crazy, outrageous movie. that you wouldn't think it'd be very serious, but when it gets to those serious moments, it really takes itself seriously. And that's hard to do. It's hard to shift the tone like that in a movie just so drastically, but it's done well in these movies, and it really makes you feel bad for these characters. They're very similar situations, and that's why that cameo was cool, because he's like, I kind of get what you're going through, man. And this little creature is just so hilarious. The lines he says, he's singing songs, having a fun time. It was a fun little character, and just the idea of it. It's a movie about an alien creature that puts this fluid in the guy's brain, and somehow he doesn't get killed by this, but somehow he gets this fluid in his brain, and he's on LSD trip while this alien creature is killing people and eating brains and eating people everywhere. It's gory, it's bloody. That's another thing. It's very gory. The practical effects look great. A lot of these special effects for the time and for the budget look phenomenal. Like, certain scenes were just like awestruck. I was just, even some of the CGI effects, like the visual effects, like the end of the movie where there's like this head that explodes and there's a beam of light that goes everywhere. The way that looked, I thought just looked cool. Like, it was something that was very unique. I'd never seen anything look like that before. It was so cool. The soundtrack I ended up really loving. There's certain pieces of music, very dreamy like score. The movie's shot very well. It has a great usage of dark, mellow lighting, but also bringing in some unique color palettes. So it gives it a really interesting look, and the plot is definitely very original and very outrageous, but it's a fun time. It's extremely entertaining. I'm a big fan of this movie and Basket Case. Yeah, maybe one day I'll check out Frankenhooker, because I heard that's also a great movie, but this is a lot of fun, man. It's a great film. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. Really solid horror film. Very fun. If you've seen it, definitely let me know your guys' thoughts on it in the comments below. Trenchy, thank you so much for this recommendation. I really do want to thank you, because this movie was actually really surprising and entertaining. But anyways, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Very, very solid horror film. And just a very, very awesome, over-the-top kind of movie. Very silly, very funny, but very entertaining. But anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching the review. Hope you guys enjoyed. And, yeah, thanks for watching. And Trenchy, thanks so much for the request. Really appreciate it, man. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good night. The Explorer of Horror is out. Peace!